Alright guys, welcome to part 2 on how to draw Yveltal. If you guys haven't seen part 1, make sure to go check it out. The links will be in the description or at the end of this video. Alright guys, so now that we have most of the sketch, now we just need to finish all the details, go over the drawing and make any changes just to finalize the sketch, and then from there on we could just do the final drawing. So right here I'm just doing the triangles at the bottom of the wing. Right here I actually make them too small. As you guys can see on the reference, the first triangle, it's a lot closer to the hand than the way I have it. I do change that later on. And as you guys can see, I also did the ones on the other hand where I made them too high. I actually connected them to the middle line that goes in the middle of the wing, and it should be a lot lower than that. But like I said, I do make changes later on. But now that we have that, we can start by doing the tail. And right here for the tail, instead of focusing on the shape of the tail, I focus on the white shapes that it makes right here. If you guys look at the reference, you guys will know what I mean. It has 3 white shapes right there, and then it has like a bigger gray one. So this one is the one at the top. Here we go. And I will be putting a link to the actual reference, that way you guys could look at it closer, make it bigger, and then just use that, because there's some things that are just so small, some details guys, that you guys are better off just by looking at the reference instead of my drawing. But yeah, so now right here, this is the other white shape that it has. And if you guys look at the top, I connected them with the line, and that was just to help me put them at the right spot, And now we could just do the outside of the tail right here, and it should be closer to the actual hand. Right here I make a lot further, but like I said before, I do make some of these changes later on. Alright, now that we have that, we could do this leg right here, the thigh, and basically this is like the black part on the leg. There we go. And now we need to do the black line that goes in the stomach. And right here I actually connected to the head, and it should actually connect to the neck, to the gray part. So just make it a little bit more to the right, And like I said before, this is still a sketch, and the reference that I'm looking at, it's really small, so there's some things that I miss. I'm not gonna do everything perfect, but I'm gonna point out my mistakes, that way it's easier for you guys. Alright, so now that we have that, we just need to work on all the details like I said before. Right here I'm doing the details on the fingers, basically where the red meets the black. It has like these two, this like triangle right in the middle. And when I was doing this, for some reason I was looking at that as like a W, like the W shape. And then we also forgot this finger right here on each side of the hand right here, so we could just draw it. And as you guys can see, it meets right in the middle between the 2 claws right there in that hand. And now to do the other one on this side, this one's a lot smaller. There we go. And we're done guys. Now it's just like I said before, go over drawing, make any changes. If something doesn't look right, now's the best time to change it. We still need to fix the head, do like the horns and the face and everything like that. But right here I'm just going over my drawing, make any small details, making them a lot better. Right here I'm doing the gray shape that it has on the tail. If you guys look at the reference, you guys will know what I'm talking about. And I don't do it right, I actually make it change it later on. Because if you guys look at the reference, it should be a lot closer to the tail, to the bottom of the tail. I do change that later on guys, like I said. And then right here I'm just gonna add the black stripe that it has right here in the tail, at the top of the tail right here. It connects to the actual like hand. I think they're hands, right guys? Like the tail and the arms, they're basically like hands. There we go. And once again, try to make them the same thickness throughout the whole body. You know, for example, the one that goes on the stomach and that connects right there to the bottom right here, the ones that are on top of the wings, and the one that goes in the middle of the wings, the black stripe. They should all basically be the same thickness. And right here I'm just working on the finger right here, you know, making these small changes. I'm looking at the reference, paying attention to where everything goes, and this is where I noticed that I connected the triangles to the middle stripe that goes in the middle of the wing. So I just make the line a little bit higher than that. And then right here I'm fixing the finger on the other side. And when I was fixing the line, the stripe, this is where I noticed this right here. I'm just working on the stripe. You guys can see right here, because it's not a straight line. If you guys look at it, it's really like I don't know, it's not perfect. It's not a straight line. There's a lot of curves to it. And this is where I noticed, you know, the triangles right here, that it should be a lot closer and a lot bigger than I had them. So this is where I changed them. It might not be the same for you guys, you know, maybe for you guys it's something else. It might be the claws, or maybe the tail, or the legs. But now just go over drawing, guys. The link for the actual reference is gonna be in the description, just in case you want a bigger reference just to look at for all your details. But for me right here was these triangles, and you guys can see they're almost all the same size. And even though, guys, I'm making changes now, I make more changes later on, because I end up erasing the whole drawing. And even though I erased the whole drawing, like everything, I can still see the lines, you know, the marks of the sketch are still there. So then I just go over them and just finalize the lines by making them a lot better, and then just adding all the details, you know. And that's how you end up with a good drawing. It's just by focusing on all the details and having a clean drawing. So that's why I erased the everything, just my sketch, just so I could have a clean drawing. And I'll show you guys how it turns out in just a little bit. But it just helps making all those details now, you know. That way once you do your final drawing, it's a lot easier. So now for the head right here I'm just fixing the shape, and I'm placing the paper right there on the spare piece of paper on the actual drawing, just so I won't smudge the lines, because with your hand you will smudge the lines. But now for the actual head. So right here we're gonna start out by doing the diamond shape that it has in the forehead. And right here is really small. If you guys compare it to my fingers and the pen and the mechanical pencil, this is really small. So right here we could just start by adding the eyes right here. And then right here it's the nose is round, it's not pointy. And then the eyes. So right here, guys, like I could barely see this. Like right now, by looking at it, I make the right eye a lot smaller than the one on the left. But like I said, I do make any changes later on. Right here, it's just too small for me to notice these kind of things. But hopefully, you guys make it a lot better. All right, so now for the horn right here. So we could just do this line going up from the eye, starting on the eye, and then it just connects. It goes to around here. It might be a little bit confusing, guys, but yeah, now we have a horn right there. Now we need to do the other one. So the other one starts right there at the same point, right there at the eye. Just do a line, and then it goes to there. And as you guys can see, the left horn is a lot lower than the one on the right, just because of the way that the shape of the head is. The way that he's looking, the angle. And I do make all these lines better. Like I said, it's still a sketch. Once I do my final drawing, I pay closer attention to the reference, just to make everything a lot better, you know. I make the horns a little bit better. I extend them a little bit more. I fix the face a little bit, you know. I actually add the eyes. Right here it's just the shape, you know, the outside of the eye. But once I do the final drawing, I do end up drawing the actual eyes. And then I noticed right here he has these like small antennas. I know they're not antennas, they're like actually the stripes on the neck, you know, the black stripes. But right here it's just so small for me, guys, and I don't want to get really close to the paper because I'll be covering the camera, you know, and I don't want that. Right here I fixed that right there. I'm fixing the shapes a little bit, making them a little bit better. Like I said, this is not going to be the final drawing. This is still a sketch. So now that we have basically that, we could just go over our drawing, make any changes, you know, things that will just help you once you start doing your final drawing. So there's a small line right there that we forgot. So now instead of just paying attention to my drawing, I recommend looking at the reference and just making any changes on your drawing. Right here I'm just adding the details. For example, right here on the fur on the neck, the small details right here. It has one right here, and then it's not a perfect shape, so the lines do curve a little bit, but just use the shape that we did at the beginning just to get a rough idea of how it should be, you know. As you guys can see right here, just by adding these small details right there in the neck, the drawing is starting to stand out just by adding those small lines, small things, you know, because in my opinion, details make a drawing. So the more that you add to the drawing, the better it'll turn out once you finish it, you know. So we're done, guys. Now what like I said before, I end up erasing my whole drawing. It's as you guys see me doing right here. I just completely erase it, and then once I erase it, I pay close attention to the reference. I don't show that on camera. I do that on my own, you know, because it's not necessary. But yeah, like I said, the link will be in the description just in case you guys want the reference a little bit bigger, a little bit more closer, you know. And just go over your drawing, and as you guys can see right here, this is how it ends up looking like. And it's the same sketch, guys. It's basically the same thing as the sketch that we did right now, but it's a lot cleaner, you know. The lines are a lot better. I fixed any mistakes that I made. I added all the small details. For example, if you guys look at the face on the head, I fixed the horns a little bit. I made the eyes a little bit better. The left horn, I made it a little bit further, a little bit bigger, in other words. And also on the tail, the wings, the hands, I just made them a little bit better, you know. But it's basically the same thing, but just a lot cleaner. So from here on, you guys could do whatever. You guys could just finish off by doing all the details, and then a lot of people, what they like to do is that they ink their drawing, you know. They finalize their drawing by doing the outline in like a pen or a Sharpie or whatever. But I don't like doing that. I just erase the drawing just so it could look a lot cleaner, and then I just go over the whole drawing again, but just paying closer attention to the reference and to all the details, you know. So that's what I recommend you guys doing, but you guys could do whatever from here on. And yeah, overall I think it came out really good, guys. I'm proud of my drawing right here. I don't usually have a lot of fun doing some other drawings, but for this one, for some reason it was fun to draw, you know. I really like how it came out. I thought we were really close to the reference overall. It came out great, you know. And I did end up coloring it, as you guys can see right here. I used Prisma Premier color markers just to color it, and I didn't do an outline. I left it in pencil just so the colors could stand out, you know, because if I would have done it in like Sharpie or something like that, since the drawing is so small, the outline would have been like, it would have overtaken the whole drawing, you know. So I left it just in pencil, and I think it came out really good just by leaving the outline in pencil. And I just used like 2 reds. I used like a regular red, like the one you see right there on the forehead, and then I used a darker red for the rest of the body. And then also for the black parts, I didn't use a black. I actually used grays. I have a set of different like shades of gray, so I used those, you know. But I didn't use any black whatsoever on the whole drawing. I just used those really dark grays. So it depends on what you guys are using. Right here, once again, I looked at the reference just for all the like the shades and all the like highlights and all that stuff. For example, on the claws, like the one on the left hand, there's like a highlight on the top of the claw. So I try to mimic the drawing, you know, the color and everything, and overall I think it came out really good. I'm really proud of myself. Like I said, I was gonna do the shadow just so it could stand out that much, but I thought I was adding too much, you know, like we don't really need it, although it adds a lot to the drawing. So if you guys want to do the shadow, go ahead, just use like a light gray, you know, that way it won't stand out that much. Or if you guys are using pencil, then just shade it really lightly, you know, and don't do an outline for the shadow, just like shade it in. But overall it came out good, guys. I really like how it came out. So hopefully the tutorial was helpful, and let me know how you guys did. If you did end up drawing Yveltal, honestly I want to know how it came out, and you know, leave any feedback. Let me know how my tutorial was. Let me know what I could do better on my tutorials, you know, because that's the only way I'm gonna get better, is if you guys let me know what I could change on my videos. I know they're a little bit long, but there's no other way for me to go step by step if I speed up my videos, you know. So I did speed up some parts, just unnecessary parts that you didn't need to watch, but overall I think it's still a good tutorial. I know he wasn't that easy, so some of you guys might have some trouble on some parts, but overall, you know, if you follow the basic shapes and then just get all your details from the reference, then I'm pretty sure it's gonna come out alright, you know. So thanks for watching, guys, and like I said, if you did draw Yveltal and you want to send it in, the links will be in the description. I'll post it at the beginning of my next videos, just like the ones you saw at the beginning of this one, you know. I'll feature your drawings, and it doesn't have to be Yveltal, it could be any Pokemon drawings you have. Like I said, the links will be in the description for my Facebook, email, or Twitter. You guys can send them there anytime, or you know, and I'll post them on my next video. So yeah, guys, and if this is the first video that you guys seen by me, make sure to check out my channel. I have over 100 Pokemon tutorials, and if you guys have any request, just leave them in the comment section, but just keep in mind that it might take me a while for me to do your drawing, you know, just because there's so many requests and so many Pokemon that I have to do right now. So hopefully you guys found this tutorial helpful, and I guess I'll just catch you guys on the next video. Team Rocket Draws out.